Hello, you are actually joining me 5 minutes later from the end of the last video, where I will continue to work on the back of the car. Now, if you didn't look at this last video, bags are in, airlines are sort of round and mocked up. We've got all the clearance we need. We just need to put a panhard bar, which is a bar that locates the axle to the chassis up here, and it basically stops the axle going left and right. So from here, I need to remove this fuel pump because it's in the way, and then we need to obviously relocate that, and then we need to clean off the axle, mock up where we think the box is going to go, and then start mocking up a bar that's going to go across. I'm hoping this fits because there's a lot of things to, figure out. Obviously, we've got to come out quite far because we don't want the bar to hit the diff cover. We've got to move the brake lines because they're in the way. We've obviously got to move the fuel pump and then mount it up here. And we need to not hit the boot floor all at the same time. So, it's really not bad, man. But hopefully, afterwards, it is. So I'm going to get cracking, strip all that out, jack all the axle up, and see where we stand. I didn't even touch that fuel line. I've literally just moved it from there to there, and it cracked and it's pissing fuel out. I'll probably replace the fuel line at the same time. Might be a good option, mate. Right, if you've been watching the series, you'll know that I've already made this box that goes around the axle. So this is going to weld to the axle. We've made the link ends already. We've also got this bung, and this is the same material that we use for the link bars. Now, this was the offcut. I measured into it. I said I'm going to need roughly about this. So I'm going to basically see if this will literally even go up there, because I know it's going to be tight. For this, I want the panhard bar to be straight at aired out. Mainly because it's so tight to the arch, both sides. It's literally like paper each side. So I basically want it to be straight, because if it's straight at aired out, then it's not going to push the axle left or right. When it airs up, it's naturally going to want to push the axle to the left or right. In this instance, it's not going to push a lot because we're only got 4 inches of travel, and we're probably only going to go up 2.5 inches maximum for driving. So my plan on top of all that is to have it straight and also have it as long as I possibly can. The longer that panhard bar is, the less likely it's going to move the axle. Moral of the story is, make it as long as you possibly can. We can't go for a Watts link. Obviously, there's absolutely no room for a Watts link unless you put a fuel cell in and stuff like that and cut the floor up. But we're not doing that, all right? Keeping things simple. So, is this even gonna go up there? It looks so tight. I know the first point of contact is gonna probably be that exhaust bracket, which makes putting an exhaust on this car even harder. So I need to figure out whereabouts the exhaust is going to go. It might have to go underneath the axle. Don't want to do that because obviously it hangs down at that point, but we'll see. Let's mock it up. All right, this is going to be hard to film. It might just fit with some modifications. Obviously, we need to cut the bar down. There's a gap to the boot floor up until you get to here, where obviously we can come in closer to the diff, but it requires cutting down that box there, bringing it in, which I'm probably going to do because we need a little bit of movement. But looking promising. I might cut that exhaust bracket off and move the bar all the way across and then figure out a different exhaust bracket elsewhere. But we're winners, I think. Cut this box down here, cut that down, shorten it, get it closer to the diff cover by 1 inch, and then work on mounting a bracket up the top there. It's looking likely to be straight on aired out, It's looking likely. It's really heavy, so I'm gonna drop this. Right, clean the axle up, exhaust bracket off. I even cleaned all the dirt off the edge of there so we're not touching anything as we're going across. I've figured out that I need to shorten this box by 40 mil. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it down here, take 40 mil out of it, and then weld this plate back on. That'll bring this bar in, and then we can still keep our nice radius to weld to the axle. We don't have to mess it up. There you go. I played it safe and I took 35 mil out of it. Clean this up, weld it onto there. Well, actually I'm gonna tack it, mock it up, and then hopefully we have the clearance we need up here. We have clearance because I've got my whole entire hand round. So yeah, shorten that, tack that together. What I'm gonna do now is cut this bar down so we can know the optimum length. Get that link end halfway out so we've got some adjustment on it. And think about mounting this side as well. Clearance. Obviously this is as close as it will ever get because the chassis is obviously touching the axle. So it's not gonna get any higher than this. So I'm just gonna make it as straight as I can. And yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna weld that one together now so it doesn't move. Winners! This is going a lot more smoother than I anticipated, so I'm trying to figure out what's gonna go wrong next. I've skipped a few steps, can't remember what I just told you, but it's basically on. It's basically on. There's still some things to adjust, but I'm gonna show you now. It's in there. I've cut the bar down, obviously, tacked the ends on both sides. Obviously the box is tacked onto here as well. Wound these adjustments in. I've got one of these brackets on, right? I wanted to go a little bit further that way, but when I went further that way, it's gonna push, because the chassis rail goes up like that, it's gonna push the whole bar upwards into the boot floor. And as you can see, when this is literally aired out, I can get a bit of paper between the bar and the boot floor. So any higher that way, I'm gonna hit the boot floor. So that is why it's there where it is, which I think it's all right. I think it's all right, to be honest. It's just so tight underneath here that I can't really do what I wanted to do. So for peace of mind, I'm gonna, you know, massage the boot floor ever so slightly there. Just enough to clear it. I know it's on full drop and it's not gonna go any further than that, but you know, it's exactly where it needs to be. And I'm happy with where it is sat. Completely flat, aired out. That way the wheels should fit in the arch. And when we air up, it can only move ever so slightly to wherever it wants to go, left or right. It should go. This wheel should poke out when you air up. Like, I'm talking like less than 5 mil, I'll be honest. But that's my plan. Get that welded in there properly. And there's one more thing ticked off the list. Now, this really puts a spanner in the works for the exhaust, I'll be honest. The exhaust has obviously got to come down underneath it now. I just got to figure out the best place for it. I'll wait until, obviously, everything's buttoned up. It's up and down, and I'll basically get the car at full height, everything mounted up around it, and then think about the exhaust afterwards. I'll probably have to come like over here, like really close to the axle, and then sort of like down here sort of thing. It's gonna be proper curly little exhaust in there, but I can't really go through there, I don't think. There's not a lot of stuff. There's not a lot of clearance in there to go up and over, unless I'm really clever with it. And it's literally like a 180 over this. I don't know, we'll see. Right, okay, so it's a new day. I went home and I was sat there and I was thinking, obviously, about what we've been doing today. And I realised I'm just chatting shit. What I should do is drop this panhard bar so it's straight at ride height. That way, there's going to be less movement left to right with the axle when we go all the way up and all the way down. I don't know how I didn't think about that yesterday, and maybe I was just very tired, but yeah, we need to drop this down until it's straight with the axle, and then that way it'll be away from the boot floor, and then it won't have so much travel from top to bottom like it does now. So we're at drive height now. And yeah, we need it to be straight with the axle. So I'm gonna make a new bracket that drops that down, mock it up, and then see where we stand. This meaning, most of the start of this video is a lie. Well, some of it. Right, as you can see here, I've made an extended drop down off the chassis mount. So I've also welded the bar together. At drive height, the bar is straight. So, drive height, bar is straight. But now, I was right, it's pushing the wheel out, and we can't get this to go past that dot line, you see? So, I'm trying to massage this arch a bit more. But it's very, very, very close. And not loving it. Wish me luck. There you go, there's the next point of contact. It's so close. There's literally like 3-4 mil it's come out there. I'll just trim the arches back and we should be golden. And then from there, I can weld that bracket in. And then, well, start welding the rest of it together. Tucked. Tucked. It is. Let me get the torch. Yeah, that is extremely tight all the way around, but it clears now. I didn't want to hit it with a hammer because, I'll be honest, if I hit it with a hammer, it looks like it might just explode. Anyway, I can now carry on. I can now, you know, go about my day, finish the bracketry on there, weld it on fully, weld it onto the beam. We have an adjustable panel bar, which will never be adjusted because I've adjusted it one time and I don't need to ever adjust it ever again. So that's good, isn't it? Some upside down welding there. Come out lovely. Just thought I'd film that. Right, so that is now all mounted. That's obviously full drop. If we air it out, oh, all the way up. There you go, that's better. So basically before, that would have been trying to go so much further down than this angle here. But now at drive height, we're level. So, you know, it's in a position where it's like not trying to pull the axle so far to the right. And obviously on full drop now, it's gonna be miles away from up there. You know, so it's not touching the boot floor. We've got a lot of clearance. Still don't know what I'm gonna do with the exhaust, but we move. Next on the agenda, move the fuel pump, which is right here. I've got to mount it up here somewhere, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna probably try and run the fuel line through our new hole. Okay, it's a new day. We have fuel pump remounted underneath here, new fuel line, new clips, goes around there. I've just welded this fully on, got this welded inside and out, and you might have noticed I've took the bags out, and basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strip everything off, measure these for the final time, make sure they're in line, and then I'll take them off the bench and I've got a fully weld around there, weld a little cap on there, but I'll do all that on the bench. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull everything out underneath, Gravitex everything around here just so it's nice and black. And then tomorrow I'll obviously reassemble it. Everything will start looking good, and then it won't look so old. This is all undercoat already, but it won't hurt to put another coat on there. Well, there's a bare chassis. It's quite nice under here. I'm going to cut this bracket off because all the pins are seized, and give it a lick of paint. Get all this dirt out of here, maybe, and give it a lick of paint. Nice. There you go. That is, well, a lot nicer to put some stuff on now. I painted the tank in a different spray paint, so it doesn't look like I just sprayed everything in one go. It's obviously still wet, but it dries so nice. Obviously it goes wet like that, and then it dries to this, which is super cool. Great stuff. Fantastic stuff. And I'm going to paint all the link arms and stuff in this. Now, as you can see, I have had these for many, many years. This one isn't even open, but this one is. So hopefully, this is all good. But, it comes out really glossy and nice. And it's really expensive stuff. £1. Don't drink it. But yeah, this is over 10 years old. And I think it's still going to work. Got a coat of paint on the axle, just welded up the boxes. I'm just capping the ends. So I've got a nut with a stud on it, and then I'm gonna knock it in. It's literally just enough to knock in. And then I'll weld it all and smooth it. Notice I've got the stud wound in so I can get weld in there. And then I'll drop the whole nut about a mil or so below this, and then I'll build the weld up and cap it all off. Go. Now I'll just literally just build that up with weld until it's flush, and then I'll just grind it, call it a day. Give it some of that. Bosh. Now it's ready for paint. Nearly. Got to fill this hole. Every time I open this, it amazes me how spreadable and easy to apply it is. Like, the reason I've had these for over 10 years is because they literally, this took me about, this is all one coat. Like, so, what's the word? It's got so much coverage. You don't use any of the paint. That's literally used like hardly any paint, and it's so covered and so black. There's nothing through it. And with the brush strokes, it sort of all blends together. You get it on there really thick, and then it just sort of blends together, and you don't see any brush marks. It's really good stuff. It looks like it's powder coated after it's done, and it's really good for rust. So, yeah, some 2 cents for you. It's expensive, but it will last you forever. Now, on that note, I can end the video, I think. It's quite a big old... It's quite a boring video, maybe? Probably. I don't know. You tell me. I forgot to mention I actually reinforced the bottom of these brackets, both sides, before I painted it. So now, once all this is dry, it can start going back together. But before that, I got to drop this subframe today and do the subframe raise, but that will be in another video. So anyway, I'll leave it here. Thank you for watching. We're very close now. Cheers, goodbye.